Hey guys, this is my vintage, approximately 1980s Black & Decker drill, and well, it actually has like some kind of sticker residue right there, which is covering the Black & Decker logo, but I don't know if it was an original price tag when it was being sold somewhere or not, but there's just some remaining sticker residue right here that's very hard to get off. But if it weren't for the sticker residue there, you could actually see the Black & Decker logo, and also the amperage and other information. I think it's like 3.5 amps, 0 to 1200 RPMs, something like that. And here's other information on the side here. I don't know if this is worth showing you because I don't know if you can make it out, but in case you have really good eyes and can make it out, here's the information here. But anyway, this right here was back when way back when Black & Decker was still, top-notch quality. When Black & Decker, like amongst other brands, was, top-notch quality. It's, you just don't see this anymore. And another feature this drill has is it has this a little holder, plastic holder thingy, where it has a chuck key to it, where whenever you put a bit in here, you can actually put the chuck key in the hole and use the chuck key to tighten down the bit. Hence you get a much tighter fit, unlike the modern day China pry drills, where it's all a hand tightening chuck, where the bit will have a tendency to sink as you're drilling, because can't get, unless you really put some juice to it. But fact that this actually has a chuck key where you can actually tighten the bit, helps you to get a tighter fit to the bit, actually. And of course, this is just like the Black & Decker drills I remember when I was knee-high to a grasshopper. The cooling fan in there, you can't see it. Well, well, that doesn't do any good, but it's just the same as even the impeller fan to cool the motor is just actually the same as these Black & Decker drills that I remember knee-high to a grasshopper. And I'm gonna tell you all a story. We once lived in I think it was Rockford, Illinois, before 1983, and my Aunt Gail and Uncle Randy, of course, Aunt Gail and Uncle Randy ended up divorcing as the years went on. But back when we still lived in Illinois, my Aunt Gail and Uncle Randy were still married, with their kids, my cousin, and Aunt Gail and Uncle Randy decided to, repaint their house. And what they wanted to do first was get was to, like, you know, scrape off the old peeling paint to, you know, the whole, like, you know, wooding of the house. And so, there was one day or so that, you know, my Uncle Randy, and I believe it was my dad and maybe somebody else, like, you know, used, like, you know, drills. And what they did was is they, like, you know, attached a metal brush to it. A metal brush about this thick, and put it in the drill bit. And what they did was is they used the drill to, like, you know, work off that, you know, old paint before, you know, they put on the new coat. And the drill that my Uncle Randy was using was identical to this one right here. The only difference being was the drill Uncle Randy was using was kind of like a yellowish brown color. I mean, this drill is kind of like a dark green and gray, but my Uncle Randy's was, like, you know, kind of a yellowish brown color, if I remember right. But other than the color, the drill that Uncle Randy used was identical to this one. Same, like, you know, motor cooling fan, same everything, identical. And of course, I mean, that's a good, whenever I, you know, picked this drill up from a pawn shop ages ago, I mean, it just brought back memories of my Uncle Randy using the same drill to, you know, peel the paint off their house back in, like, you know, the early 80s. And this drill even has, like, you know, a trigger lock right here to where, of course, Uncle Randy was using the trigger lock to his drill. And of course, I mean, if you just don't want to, like, you know, strain your finger, or you just push up on the lock there, and the trigger will stay up and keep the drill on to make it more handy if you're doing some kind of prolonged work. And I mean, the Black & Decker corded drills that I had before this were shit. I mean, one of them got to where it only spinned forward, and I couldn't get it to spin the other direction to work a bit out. And also this Black & Decker, I think it was, I bought from Walmart 8 years ago. I mean, it didn't come with variable speed, and if you tried to drill with it, I mean, it would just jump around all over the place because you couldn't vary the speed to it to work the beat in, which was absolute China pride. And I just threw it somewhere in my attic. I don't know what I did with it, but back then I went to a pawn shop to pick up this drill, and to me this drill outperforms the other corded drills I had before this one, actually. I mean, it's just much variable speed. I mean, better performance, and you know, a lot more impressive, and you can, like, you know, work out what you want to drill a whole lot better. And I haven't used this drill in forever. The reason I haven't used it is because, you know, I have a cordless, you know, 20-volt Black & Decker drill, and, you know, to me at this day and age, I would rather use a cordless drill rather than have to fool around with a cord here. And that's why I haven't used this in forever. But if I ever need something that's heavy duty and hard to drill and my cordless drill won't do the trick, maybe I can rely on this one right here. But let's go ahead and take you all to my dining room, and we're going to do a showdown. And the drill that the vintage corded one is going to do the competition with is my cordless 20-volt Black & Decker that I did a video on this one, well, I mean, I think it was back in 2020, I believe. I've now had this drill, I mean, going on 7 years, but it's okay, but I mean, it has some China pride to it. You really gotta tighten up the bit. Well, tighten up the chuck to, really secure the bit. I mean, it's doesn't come with a key chuck key like the older drills had, but but it's okay and gets me by. And so anyway, let's start the demonstration. I got this 3/8 bit here in this drill, and I'm going to drill a stud I have secured to my table bench, and just drill a hole. And then we're going to try out drilling with a vintage drill. And I would use the drills like side by side, but it might be hard for me to push 2 drills down at once. So we'll go ahead and start with this one. Alright, here's the 20 volt Black & Decker. Here goes. Better not drill down too far, I'll drill in the bench. There we go. I don't know if it's a fact that, this vintage drill has been sitting around for a while or whatever. Of course, there's a little bit of rust on the, chuck there. I mean, even though, I mean, it hasn't been like, maybe some rain leaked on it whenever it was, but it was in my old shed before I got my new shed. Where it's my old shed, I had a problem with the water leaking in. But I mean, I've had my new shed for a few years now, but it just, I don't know if it's that or what have you. It might be kind of deteriorated or something, but had one hell of a time getting this chuck to open and close. And what I did is I sprayed it down with WD-40 real good to see if that would do any good, but still kind of being a bear for me to get this adjusted right. But what we're gonna have to do with the this drill is we're gonna have to use a smaller bit. I think this is about a 1/4 bit, which other one was a 3/8, because I mean, I cannot get this chuck to open up wide enough to fit the bigger bits. So go ahead and tighten this down. And well, other way, Sammy, other way. Come on, tighten. Well, hopefully that will be good enough. Now let's proceed. Alright, here goes. And by the way, the forward and reverse, there's a button on the back to control it, but here we go. Here, let's, anything else? Alright. Sounds really nice and powerful. Here, let's even try it with the trigger lock here. Well, yeah. I'd say it has quite a bit more power than the 20 volt. Just not as convenient as a modern day 20 volt, but definitely has more power. Of course, I mean, corded drills, you know, have more power than the cordless ones anyway, but corded ones are just not as convenient, being that you have to plug them in somewhere. But I just wanted to show off my vintage drill for the day and hope you enjoyed the video.